That's the remote. I would just like to say that in my next life, I want to be Jennifer Ashton. She's that real pretty doctor on Good Morning America. I mean, I could be her. All she does is read articles and talk about them. She does look good, though. But I mean, she doesn't actually have to be a real doctor. She just says things like, people are wearing masks because it's, the viruses are back. It's respiratory illness. Or today she was talking about forever chemicals and how you can get tested to see if you have forever chemicals. And if you do, there isn't anything you can do about it. So do we want to test for forever chemicals? There could be harm because then people might run out and drink the juice to fix the forever chemicals and get scammed by somebody. Angela said she's been through some crap too. I'm being facetious. Just on the struggle bus this morning. Jennifer Ashton. But really, wouldn't it be a nice job? Well, maybe I couldn't be a doctor. Maybe I could just be like a consultant. Oh, she's not crazy. She's very affable. You need more coffee. Clearly I do. So we had I feel like it's like a broken record around here. I mean, I was on the way home from school thinking, do I need to change Amos's IEP so that he never doesn't have school? This not having school, which clearly happens every weekend. So it's not, I'm being, again, facetious. I was talking about Jennifer Ashton, the real pretty doctor that just gets to read articles and talk about them. It's great. If I read articles and talk about them, I have like 8 people watching. They're like, this is so boring. Not her. There's a lot of people on TV that you're like, you are not that exciting. Remember when, they look good and they're professional, but what if instead you could tune in, just like right now, where you're like, with Good Morning Adrian, and you had 15 minutes of like, how's everybody doing? I've got on the same sweatshirt as yesterday. Yep. It's bad times here. It's 42 and cloudy and rainy, which basically makes people want to go to McDonald's, which I did, and get a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit McMuffin, because that seems diety. See, wouldn't people tune in for that? January, can we just talk about for a minute? January is the longest month in the history of the freaking world. And I don't know if it's like you haven't been, at this point, no one has been paid in like 9 weeks. Because you get paid early in December and that's fun. Well, now things are over. There are 2 more full weekends left in January. 2. Haven't we had like 9? And what are we going to do again? Last weekend, I cleaned out the entire basement. You know what I'm going to do? Yesterday, I went to the grocery store and I basically bought 498 bags of chips. One, I was hungry. Bad idea. Snowing in Martinsburg. You've been out of school all week. Honestly, being out of school sounds better than what I've been doing in the morning with Amos. It is like every morning, my job is to go to a veterinarian office and have people bring in the oldest, meanest cats in existence. And then my job before 8 a.m. is to bathe 10 of them. Yep, that's my job. So I wake up every day thinking about, I've got to give all these cats a bath before 8 a.m. It's no wonder I go to McDonald's. And the cat is Amos, my autistic son. And yes, I'm calling him a cat. Getting him to school currently is, I'm not a crier. Well, I might seem like a crier. I'm not a crier, generally. I could sit and cry. It is so difficult right now. I mean, difficult. And I don't want anybody giving me any suggestions. Don't give me any virtual hugs. That's just going to piss me off. Just nothingness. I need nothing. He hates school. He hates this. He doesn't like Edenton. I said, what? And he loves his teachers. So it is not anything happening at school. It's not some like secret SOS for some terrible something. He does not want to go to school. What does a virtual hug do? Annoys me. Anyway, so this is the second morning in a row I've had to call his teacher to come down, and he's screaming and laying and kicking, and then this morning I'm yelling at him, which I don't usually do, but I was like, maybe I need to yell. And then he's saying, Mommy, don't be mad. And then you feel terrible. And it is like the week before we had this 900-day break, we were off from school 3 days. 3 days is too many days to be off from school unless it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas. Like for his sanity, someone has just sent me stars and turned me into a cat on my other page. Does he like warmer weather? I'm sure he does. I mean, who doesn't? Ugh. Too many right after Christmas. Yes. I mean, like, when I say too many, I would probably say that the teachers at school right now, if there was a question of should we have a 3-day break in a row, and they know Amos, they would be like, no effing way. No way. No, I did not bring him back home. Took him to school. I deposited him with his teacher, who I adore, and he adores. When he gets home from school, how was your day? It was good. It is. I just had no idea it could be so hard to get somebody out of the car. And I'm sure people sometimes think like, wow, she really struggles. And every time, even this morning, I was walking into school. Oh, he wanted me to carry him. Well, he comes up to here. I picked him up for a second. I cannot carry him. And, there's some other family driving by. There are people coming in and out. And I'm thinking, I never did this before. I had 3 other kids. And I never, ever, ever, ever dropped even one of them off one day crying. Ever. Ever. So now I have this person who is totally different. And it is so freaking hard. God, this morning stuff, and I can do about anything. But this morning thing is, It's really hard. It's really hard. But last week, before the 900-day break, he had probably the best day he'd ever had at the end of the week. So we finally got to Friday, had a great day. Well, then we're out 5 days. Now we started up. Now he's, today and yesterday were really hard. And then we got to fucking do this again on Monday. You need therapy or you're going to fall apart. Cynthia, I have you. It's really helpful to have somebody tell you that you need therapy. I'm going to make a list of things not to tell mothers of children with autism. You need therapy. You should get more sleep. Klonopin at 10. We do medicine. So right now we're doing memantine in the morning, 10 mLs. And then we do some other something at night. And then we do guanfacine. So I'm going to message the doctor again. What else could we do, There's something. But he wasn't like this last year. Like this is, I don't know. I really don't know. Would he have a bus option? He might like that. Sorry, Judy. Judy is very nice. Oh, thank you, Anne. It is, anybody with a child with autism would tell you, if it's that hard to get them into school, can you imagine getting them on the freaking school bus? 45 minutes earlier? Oh God, that could be worse. You've just helped me realize there could be something worse. Having to get him on the school bus. Had to have his meds so they kick in before school. Yes, and he has them in plenty of time. No. Now here come the questions. Yes, he gets occupational therapy. No one is bothering him at school. When do special needs moms have time to fit these things in? Well, it's a really good question. Do they not have Mr. Brown retired? He did love Mr. Brown. Maybe I could hire Mr. Brown to come back and take Amos to school. Amos, but he could earn a Lego figure. He ain't wanting to earn nothing about nothing to nothing. There ain't nothing on the planet that wants him. I've decided we're in a fix-it society. People want to fix things. And I was you. I used to think that I could fix things too. I have a master's degree in early intervention, a minor with a specialty in inclusion, a minor in curriculum and instruction with a PhD in educational research and policy. My name was Adrienne Fix-It Wood. No fix-it. It's kind of like the 77 feet of snow in Steamboat. I mean, they ain't going to have clear sidewalks, no matter what they do. Now, in Edenton, you can have clear sidewalks. No, it's not hormones. No. We're practicing. You all are practicing listening. Oh, God. Now Mary Scott's on. Now she's going to call me. Don't call me. And nobody go tattle into my friends. She's sad. I'll be fine. My son is on guanfacine. We have to give it to him the night before. Yes, Michelle. He takes 2 guanfacine tablets at night. Does your husband take him to school? That would be a big no. school resource officer help him get out of the car. No. Oh, God, it'd be like jail. I mean, is there a school where it's more consistent? A school that was year-round? Yes, Karen, there's a wonderful school that's year-round right down the street from my house. No, there's no school. Unless I move. Okay, I'm not even addressing questions. If you're a subscriber, you can ask questions on a subscriber video, not this one. This is like, they can't help it. It's a sickness, Lindsay. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. Terrible, terrible sickness. Get a car just for the ride to school. His favorite color. That is the dumbest bunch of shit that I have ever heard in my life. What do you think? I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini? What? I mean, that takes the frickin' cake. Why don't I build an underground train to get there? Would it be easier if Big T took him? Listen, people, I am not struggling with ideas. I have plenty. There is not one idea somebody on here has not mentioned that I have not already done or considered, except for the new car. No. Big Thomas tries to take him to school. He can't even get him out of the car at all. That no work. And if Mary took him to school, he'd be ill as a snake. Hornet. A snake bit by a hornet. I mean, it's like, I feel like I'm on like in an episode of Romper Room meets like drunk Mr. Rogers. Does an EC bus offer strategies? What does that even mean? Have I asked the bus if they have strategies? No. Damn it. Which apparently isn't welcomed unless you pay her. That's right, Michelle. Yep. That's right. You have to pay me to give advice. It's like a reverse. It's like a reverse system. Think of Charlie Brown meets Opposite Sketches. Now, this is a helpful comment. Tanya. My niece is 50. She used to cry when she knew she was going to school. We tried everything. Then the teacher told us she was fine as soon as she got to her classroom. That's exactly right. Ding, ding, ding. You win, Tanya. You've just won a free membership. You sign up and I'll Venmo you. I said that to Miss Bonner this morning. How was he yesterday? He was fine once he got to the classroom. Oh, welcome, Melanie. How about one of his peers from school? I feel like if I were in a coma, people would give me advice. You just have to ride it out. Too early for a painkiller. Well, that's an idea. Oh, they're so nice at school. They are so nice. And he was great last year. He was great. How can I get a free membership? If you come over here and mail out a bunch of gift bags for me, Patty, I'll give you a whole year. Transitions. Yes, this is right. These are called transitions. Very big problem. He's testing you and hoping you cave. No, I don't think so. He doesn't. I think that's what people don't understand. Autism is not, he's not being manipulative. He can be manipulative. Like when he wanted to watch the TV in here versus there. But it's not even manipulative. Because think again about, I really want people to understand, there is no amount of advice that is going to change Amos, right? Oh, welcome, Amy. None. This is not about anything I can do. So I have done this 3 times. I have raised 3 competent teenagers. I have one getting ready to go to college. He's already gotten in South Carolina. And I have another one as a sophomore who's doing great. I have another one who's hoping to go off to school next year. I have done this before. This is not my first rodeo. I tell my friend Kate, I bet that was really hard to have this be your first child. You would just have no idea. And I would think you would probably blame yourself. I cannot blame myself because I was successful with no effort. The amount of effort I put into Amos, if I had put in a 10th amount of that effort, I would already have people like in medical school at Harvard. And I don't think people understand that unless they have a child with a disability. Yeah, thank you, Laura. If you don't have autism in your life or a child with a disability, it is, I've done this. Like I feel confident in my abilities. You know, it's not me. It's not anything I can necessarily do. And I think yesterday, in all seriousness, we were talking about the tasing of the 14-year-old autistic child. And he was walking home from the grocery store, cutting through a backyard, and the police officer said, "Hey, stop." And he started running, which is exactly what Amos would do. And there were people, legitimate humans, who said, well, there was nothing the police could have done. Their job was to stop the person. And so my husband and I last night, we were talking, and I said, you know, that's a failed argument because if you were deaf, police have to be trained to know that there might be a deaf person walking in front of them and that they don't tase them when they don't stop, you know? Now, Sissy Baxter has some opinions. Let's see what Sissy Baxter has to say. If you want to be honest with yourself, Amos wants to call the shots and you need to stop with the excuses. We have been there as a family. Take the TV. He has to learn the real world will not bend to every whim of your children. Yes, fine in the classroom because he knows what they will not tolerate. So, Sissy, let's just pretend you're right. Sissy, how did I manage to raise 3 teenagers well? And Sissy, I don't know if you're aware of something. It's called autism, anxiety. So don't ever say that to anybody ever again. People will hate you. Hate you. They will like think, they will get a doll and they will put your picture on it and they will take little pins and on it. And you wonder why I make people pay for a subscriber page? If I had to listen to that shit all the time, I would go nuts or I'd be a drunk. You can't beat the autism out of him. I have 2 daughters on the spectrum and can't imagine trying to make them do anything. Thank you, Laura. I mean, just the fact that I got him into school was honestly pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, none. How about a video explaining autism behavior? It may help. Well, that's a good idea. Little T is not necessarily going to South Carolina, but he did get into South Carolina. he hears from Carolina and State probably in the next week or two, and then he will hear from the Honors College at South Carolina. I don't have any kids with special needs of my own, but I want to thank you because I learn new things. I have severe anxiety. You can't make it away, wish away, or scream at me to make it go away. Yeah. What's going on this morning? Well, Buffy, we had another struggly to get to school morning, which I was maybe hopeful that we wouldn't, but we did. And maybe it was a little better. It was easier today getting out of the house than it was into well, he actually came into the school and sat on the bench, but it was harder to get away from him. He said, if mommy leaves you, you will cry. But no, I do think, I want people to know, like, he doesn't want to be like this. Amos is fun and funny, and like, I just saw him at Great Wolf Lodge, happy, competent, independent, able to listen and do, I know that's how he wants to be. You can't tell somebody, my friend Mary Scott was saying this the other day, who does not have a child with a disability, but I don't think she'd mind me saying this, struggles with has her own anxiety, which a lot of people do. And she said, you can't tell someone, don't be anxious, right? And you can't. It's like telling someone to stop crying. It never works well. I wanted to see what my friend Sarah said. So many people don't understand the broad range of anxiety and how many different things it can affect. Yeah, it's really true. I worked in special services for many years, said Sissy. Well, Sissy, that concerns me that you worked in special services, because if I had someone that pretended to be an expert that said shit like that to me, I would really have a bad self-esteem. So anyway, this is my area. I have a master's in this area and a PhD. Trust me, I'm the expert. I sat on the other side of the table. There ain't nothing you can tell me that I don't already know. Or to calm down. Well, and I do say that. You end up saying that, and you don't even mean to. Mary needs to take him to school. He's smart, playing like a fiddle. No, his anxiety is just peak 100,000%. And it's not regular that it's just after long breaks. So once we get back into the schedule, but he was out, he's really been out he has not been to a full week of school since December 8th. And what is it, January 20th? Because of sickness, and then all the Christmas break. And then we have, after Christmas break, we had a 4-day week. 4-day week. Oh, last week we had a weather week. And then this week we have a break week. So the idea of going Christmas break and then having 3 not full weeks in January, a bad idea. Bad. Yeah. Anxiety is, ooh. We had to change to homeschooling. Well, Lauren, he enjoys school and he is learning and likes it. Would he prefer to stay home? Yes, but he likes school. I think we can maybe get the medicine right a little bit, but I mean, I can't fix these bizarre breaks other than be on the frickin' calendar committee, And there's all sorts of things he can't tell me. Does he miss his brothers? Yesterday he said his ear hurt. So then this morning I was thinking, does he have an ear infection? And do I not know it? Is he not saying it, So then I was thinking, well, now I need to call at 10 and take him to the doctor to make sure he doesn't have an ear infection, because he might not even know he has one, but he doesn't feel well. You know, all these things are hard, and he can talk. I mean, he's verbal, but he cannot tell me. He can't really tell me how he's feeling. And again, I had 3 other kids. They never cried to get out of the car. Never. Never, ever. So anybody that tells me that this is my fault or tells you it's your fault, I would tell you it's not. No, he would not ride the bus. I cannot imagine actually anything worse than trying to get him on the bus at 7 a.m. when I'm dragging him out of bed starting at 6:45. Yes, thank you, Tracy. The hardest part is he cannot express his feelings or exactly what is going on, you know? We are dealing with some readjustment issues. My child is a teenager. Extra long Christmas break. We're having some sleep and anxiety issues. Yeah, and I'm sure that's even harder when they're big, you know? Like, I have a 18-year-old and a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. Can I mean, how in the hell? I couldn't get my 18-year-old to school if he didn't want to go. I mean, there's no chance, you know? 20-year-old that does not want to take crippling medicine for anxiety. Anyway, today is Friday. That's good. So we have a break. Then we'll start this again on Monday. I'm supposed to be writing a book. How can I write a book when I'm like exhausted by 8:25 a.m. crying? Some of these people should write an autism advice book. Would never be on the bestseller list. They must be taught that there are things in society that they have to adjust to. Sissy, you're going to die on this hill. Amos has been taught. If it was up to Amos yesterday, we spent 10 minutes in the car. I waited for him to put his shoes on to go in the grocery store. He's being taught that. If he weren't taught that, he would be naked. I mean, taught that. His whole life has been about teaching him to be somebody that he was not created to be. You know, he is a square living in a circle world, and he has to do so much cutting of his edges all the time to fit into this other world that is not who he was created to be. And as his mother, I have to always balance what are non-negotiables, what are things he needs to do, but how do I let him be true to himself and be the person that he was born to be? You know, he was not born to be the person you're talking about or my other children. He was born to be him. And yes, I mean, there are non-negotiables. You can't walk around butt-ass naked at the wet Walmart, you know? And I push those things. But I am never going to make him a regular freaking person. It's not happening. He's not going to be that person. He is a cat. So you're talking about taking your dog on a walk. Get your cat and put him on a leash, and I want you to go throw a tennis ball. And then I want you to call me and tell you how it went. Did your cat retrieve the ball? How'd they do on the leash? Did they sniff other cats? You know, like, this is bullshit. Anyway, you want to die on that hill? I promise you, I could die on a hill longer than you ever could think about doing. Rachel said, my son likes to eat paint off the walls, no matter how many years of redirecting or blocking or stopping. Yeah, like, exactly. one thing Amos does is when he gets a donut or something, he smells it and then he touches his shirt with it. Now, I can tell you, my other 10-year-olds, I never said to them, do not take your chocolate donut and smash it into your shirt. Or to my 10-year-old son, don't take off your wet bathing suit here. We need to do that in the bathroom. My other 10-year-old sons would have perished if I had told them to take off their bathing suits in front of other people, you know? But you couldn't say, well, look at your 10-year-olds. They're so well behaved. They just know right how to go in and take their bathing suit off. No, they knew because that's who they were. I think that's really, I think I'm so thankful that I had these 3 other children first, because I really, and honestly, when I talk about this crap, it's because I used to be like you. I used to look at families like mine and I felt pity and I felt judgy and I felt like I had all the answers, you know? I'm a pre-K assistant, and yes, we have several cats. Yes, you're just full of cats. So anyway, Sissy, get the cat, get it on a leash, go out. I want the cat to learn to roll over, sit, speak, and get the ball and bring it to you. And then you call me. I can give you my phone number. Frickety frick. Subscribers, I'll see you at noon for a lunch chat. And actually, it's going to be kind of a fun lunch chat. I've had enough complaining today. And I'm going to go work on my book, and I'm going to start my chapter. I don't even know what it's going to be called. Have a seminar. I would like to do a seminar. All while the cat is wearing shoes. Yes, and the cat must have on shoes. And Sissy, I'm not really trying to pick on you, but it is freaking, I cannot tell you how unhelpful it is to have someone tell you something like they know what in the frick they're doing. And I don't care who you are, but like, I don't need advice. Because remember, I've done this 3 times. So if you want to be a friend to somebody, don't give them advice. They don't want to hear it. And it's not going to be helpful. It's just going to make them feel bad about themselves. So if you want to be a real friend, just smile or laugh or I have one good friend that I've had several friends, actually, 2 friends now that have reached out and said, hey, would he want to ride to school with us? And do I think probably yes, but in like the moment of this morning, I could have had Air Force One waiting in my yard and he would have been excited to get an Air Force One. And then when we got to school, he would have gone apeshit. Like it's just transition. And with transition, you just have to get through the transition. You know, like you have to get your car and it's raining, you're going to get wet. You're just going to get wet. There's no not getting wet. So anyway. But I appreciate those friends that really reach out and, you know, name one of your chapters cats. I might name the whole book Cats. Are we going somewhere for lunch today? That would be fun. I wish the Habitat store was open today. I need to go to Elizabeth City and get dog food. do that. I just think I need to lay on this couch a minute. No, we'll see you at 12. I don't know what we'll be doing. I'll come up with something good. Maybe it'll snow. That would perk me up. But thanks for listening to my ranting and raving. And hopefully you leave with a little better understanding. Not, boy, she whines and fusses and I feel bad for her, but like, okay, I hadn't thought of it like that. And again, it's because I didn't know. I didn't know. And I feel like, gosh, I could have been a better friend or a little more friendly. And if I had known, So anyway, and no, I do not have on contacts. That's the newest thing. Why are you wearing blue contacts? If you see me wearing blue contacts, then you should know everything is going well over here. I'm wearing my Princeton sweatshirt that this morning I told Amos as he was sitting in the front hall of school crying that I use as a Kleenex and then I just fold over the cuff. Okay, see y'all at noon, subscribers.